Can too much salt consumption kill you? I know it sounds like what, but there is scientific data to support this. You will find more details throughout the video. Please watch until the end. Let's get started. Hello viewers, I hope everyone is doing great. Today I'm here to cover on how too much salt consumption is harmful to our health and how too much salt consumption is linked to premature death and shorter life expectancy. We all of us take salt in different forms, be it through food and through drinks and through different snacks. We do not know how much quantity of salt that we are taking per day because we are taking food through different forms, knowingly or unknowingly. For example, if we take food completely that is home cooked, then maybe we can have some control or understanding, or can be able to estimate that this much is the quantity that I may be consuming. But we are in a lifestyle or forceful situations wherein we are taking food from different sources like processed food, packed food, snacks, restaurant food, so which we do not have any control over how much quantity of salt is added into them. It's just putting unknown amount of salt into our body. In short, I can say unknown quantity of salt consumption. How much salt consumption is too much then? There are some recommendations given by WHO and American Heart Association. WHO recommended consumption limit is 5 gram per day, and American Heart Association recommended limit per day is 5.7 gram. Let me put the figures into actual consumption, which means 5 gram is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of salt. Yes, it may be surprising for you, but it's fact. Take a look here. I have put some math for your better understanding, wherein 1 tablespoon of salt is equivalent to 17.07 gram, which means 1 tablespoon of salt is equivalent to 3 teaspoons of salt. That is 5.69 gram of salt is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of salt. In general, 9 to 12 gram of salt is consumed. When it comes to Indians, it's 11 gram per day, which is way beyond the recommended limits by WHO and American Heart Association. Let us understand why we are taking too much salted food in a day-to-day basis. Now we are in modern world where we wanted everything instantly. That's where we are habituated to eat lot of packed processed food and pre-prepared food from restaurants and then from different packages, so which actually contains a lot of salt. The lifestyle that we are in today is actually forcing us to take either packed food or processed food, or prepare a meal or food in house by using packed ingredients. Other reason for adding more salt is it enhances taste, and sometimes it acts as preservative, and in some restaurants simply it's added to make the customers consume less of quantity. If we take different parts of the world, let's say for example take US, the consumption of salt is too much because they eat a lot of processed packed foods and also pre-prepared foods from restaurants and fast foods. Let's take for example cheese, canned foods, pizzas, soups, canned vegetables, seafoods and sauces, sandwiches are some of the items that usually contains more salt content in it. If you take India, the problem is table salt. Only 10% of salt is consumed through naturally occurring foods like vegetables, dairy products, eggs, and some seafoods and all of that. Otherwise, remaining 90% of salt is added. What if we take too much salt, or why too much salt is bad for our health? Because it reduces our lifespan by 28%. Recently, there is a project from UK Biobank which was conducted on 5,01,379 participants from UK, which clearly shows that the lifespan would be reduced by 28% if we take more salt than actually recommended by WHO or American Heart Association. Too much salt intake also shortens life expectancy of 1.5 years in women and 2.28 years in men at the age of 50 years. It increases the blood pressure, it causes cardiovascular diseases, heart attacks, heart strokes, it damages kidney and heart. It increases the risk of osteoporosis, which is related to bones, and it causes stomach cancer. It increases the water level retention in the body. It also causes premature mortality of below ages 75 years. So, what should we do to avoid the risks associated with too much salt consumption? It's cut back on sodium containing foods. It's best way to minimize processed food, packaged food, and restaurants foods, and also fast foods, as these foods contain a lot of salt. Another best way is eat home cooked food, and also having consciousness while eating or while purchasing foods from outside can really help to minimize the salt consumption. Consciously reducing the amount of salt that we add to our foods is another way of greatly reducing the salt content intake. If I talk about me, I really take more salt than the recommended limit, but after knowing this, I am consciously taking call whenever I'm dealing with food items or any item that I take in a day-to-day basis. You can comment below how much salt that you are taking on day-to-day basis, if you can. I hope this video was helpful in creating some awareness how too much salt consumption is really harmful and it impacts our health, and how it impacts the premature and how it really leads to premature death and shorter life expectancy. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel for more videos.